All right, good morning, seniors, or afternoon. And what we're going to do today, since we're kind of at the revision process now for the literature review, is we are going to do a Turnitin checkpoint, which I know quite a few of you already know how to do. But I want to show you some of the more unknown things that Turnitin points out when you submit an assignment. Now, I'm doing a new type of Turnitin assignment that I've never really toyed around with before. And I even asked Mr. Kirkhoff if he's used this one before, and he says he hasn't. So this will be a learning experience for both of us. But I did, the one that you want to click on when you log into this class on your school Turnitin account is you want CGP paper revision 1, right down here where my mouse is. So you'll even look, it says these first two that I threw on here are called paper. This one is called revision. So there's two titled CGP paper. You do not want that one. You will not be able to turn it back in, and it will store it in the repository. And then anytime you mark it in the future, it will be marked as plagiarism. You want the one that says CGP paper revision 1. So we're going to do a test run with this one. I'm going to click submit just to show you a couple of the features. Like I said, that Turnitin has. It has a pretty good grammar checker. It has checks punctuation, that you're doing citations correctly, all sorts of stuff. So we'll do my name. Let's see here. I think I had to manually edit this in last year. Let's just do test. And then let's do choose from Google Drive. And then we'll do my school account. And let's see here. What test can I do? Let's go to my drive. Why don't we throw in one of my papers? So we'll go to courses. We will go to research and writing for college success. And let's throw in my final project. So here it is as a Word file. I think this is the APA change. One of these two is. Let me see real quick. Yep, APA style, good. So let's throw that one in there just to see what it pops out at us. We'll upload. Now, depending on how long this takes, or how big the file is rather, then it could take a little bit longer than normal. So I'll ask you to confirm, like my file size for that's pretty big for a document. And let's throw it in there. I think this is like a draft of my thesis, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna go to my assignment inbox. So you see in this section, here's the revision 1 thing. It says no submission for all of you from everybody in first hour. And it's still sort of playing around with the similarity report. So you might not see the similarity report right at the beginning. And so I'm not going to click on that just yet. I'm going to show you what I want you to do in the meantime, though. And that is if you are doing a survey, that is my email, yep. If you're doing a survey, you are going to be using SurveyMonkey. A couple of you are probably wondering, well, why can't I just use Google Forms? SurveyMonkey gives you better graphics and data to use for your application section. Excuse me. And it also gives you, I'd say, just better responses overall. It's way easier to build a more complex survey. And we had a good experience with it last year. So I don't know, I've never had this pop up before. I'm just gonna click intermediate, whatever. Now the one thing, never mind, let's just get started. So it does have popular integrations like Microsoft Teams right here. I'm actually curious what that is. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole in this video because the whole point was to show you Turnitin, but maybe I'll take a look at that on my own time. Interesting. Okay, I'll play around with it. That might be worth looking into. But you just, in the meantime, here you did that. Just go to create survey. So you'll see that it already has one of mine from last year. And this one's a little bit bad just because we have changed how we're going to be doing the survey this year, as you know, and we'll be doing it more to be like a test. Okay, you shouldn't be doing it just to gather like, oh, how do you feel about these questions? Those don't really prove anything. So in this particular case, I'm actually going to use this gun violence in Florida, and I'm going to revise it. Okay, like this isn't like a very good question. So you'll see there's like, you can go here, click preview. Then you can click results, and it gives you a nice little chart and graph, breakdown percentages, how many people answered, all of that kind of stuff. It's pretty, there's really not much for me to show you because it's pretty self-explanatory. You can start from a template, you can start from scratch. This should work just fine on the iPad. We had no issues with it last year. But you just need to make sure you log in and get started on exporting what you did for your team's assignment into SurveyMonkey today. And if you're doing an interview, part of your assignment is going to be to send me a receipt of those interview questions, that you at least sent the interview questions and are awaiting a response, hopefully by the end of this week. Okay. So this should be good to go by now. I'm going to refresh the page and see if I can click on it. And sure enough, okay, similarity 3%. That's pretty good. So let's click on that, and it'll load up this. It should load up either like a pop-up. I kind of forget how it looks on the iPad, but it shows you the same thing, I promise. It's going to give you something similar to this. So here is, let's see here. It has all sorts of different things. I hate that it doesn't show you like what each one is called though. So you kind of have to cover over some of them if you're on a computer, and if you're on an iPad, you just have to, let's check the feedback summary first. So this is if I were to grade something on TurnItIn, I could leave you vocal feedback. Maybe I should do that in the future. That sounds very useful actually. And then this is a rubric thing too. We're not going to use that. Here's what I do want to use. So no flags detected for submission. If you have a flag, then that means you need to fix that before next time. Flags could be anything from plagiarism to like text that you're trying to hide, things that are wrong. Here's the match overview. So if you look here, I cited everything in this paper as best as I possibly could, and anything under 1%, you know, that means that's probably where I got it from. Like you look here, Journal SagePub, one's from like a chapter of a book. Some of these are from not student papers, but papers that I quoted, other research. If you have under 1% on something, like a 3 to 5%, then we're probably not even going to look at your paper for plagiarism. That's not worth our time. Now, it does show you a kind of a breakdown of where you, like, look, this is what it tagged for the 1% source. And it was like the name of the source. So as long as it's quoted properly, you look up here, like I have quotes from here, like this block quote. This is 100% taken word for word from a source, but I cited it in APA format afterwards, exactly how it's supposed to be. Okay. If you do that, TurnItIn is not going to get you for it. If you cite it incorrectly, it's going to label as plagiarism. This, we're not going to catch you for it on this time. This is a revision assignment. Now, if we see something like 60% or 50 or 40%, then yeah, we're gonna be like, okay, what's going on here? Probably maybe even like 20, 30%, that's a lot. We're going to wonder why are you have so many things that are being tagged as being plagiarized. But if it's in like the even like up to 10% range, those are probably just minor quotations that you need to fix or might have like forgot to connect quotation marks, etc. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this off real quick and we're gonna go down here to this thing that says ETS, E-Rater. Oops, never mind. Okay, so I guess it can't do that for mine. Your paper will certainly be under 64,000 characters. So you can absolutely use it for yours. E-Rater is where it rates your grammar, spelling, punctuation, all that kind of stuff. That's the purple one. It does a really, really good job with that, and I would highly recommend that you use that, okay? So use that to revise your paper. Now, a couple of you are probably wondering, how am I supposed to even submit this? Because like we've been doing it on Word 365. That's what I'm gonna get to right now. I saved that part for last. So I'm gonna pop this out real quick. Let's go to Miss Morales' paper real quick, just because that's when my session expired. Okay. Interesting. I've never had that happen before. Okay. So what you want to do, I would do this in the desktop app. However, this is one thing where it should potentially work in the app as well. But I mean, like I always say, do it in here just to be safe. You should go to File. If you missed that part, I clicked File up in the top left corner. Save As. And you want to download a copy. Okay? You don't want to save a copy online. You don't want to rename or any of this other stuff. Download a copy. It should say to your iPad. Store it somewhere. Upload it to here. And then never access that file again. Delete it from your iPad even. We only still want to keep doing it in the cloud on Office 365. But in order to upload it to Turnitin, I'm pretty sure you need to do like a physical .docx file. Not physical, digital .docx file. But you need to download that and then upload it. Okay? So that's pretty much everything I wanted to go over. I wanted to go over some of those other E-rating things, but I guess I'll just do that in class after some of you upload. Maybe I'll upload a different test one. But it's the things that the E-rater points out are pretty self-explanatory too. Okay? Hopefully this makes sense. And this will be an assignment. Like this is either like pass or fail. Like you need to do this. This is how we're checking your third literature review, your references page, all that kind of stuff. Okay? So this is a requirement to have. I want to see submissions from everybody at the end of class today. Okay. I will walk around and help you if you have any questions. And online people, make sure you just type in the chat, and I will respond to you, or unmute yourselves. Okay. And if I save this video for next year, then I guess we won't have online kids. Hopefully. Okay. Bye.